Hello and welcome to a quick guide of my photography gallery. One of my other hobbies is photography, and a lot of it involves craft, motorsports, cars, etc. But first we'll set off with some animals. And these I know them as Highland coos, because I'm half Scots. And these are the ones the farmer had, just across from where I live. And I went in the field with them when it was snowing for some decent shots. And he's quite an happy beast. But I got chased out by them, and you don't argue with them with them horns. And I'm also into candid photography with people. This girl's Lauren Richardson, a pit special stunt pilot, and these are from my local steam railway I'll mention later. And it's a 1940s wartime weekend they do regular. And this one's one of my buddies. I first met him by taking this photo. He's a biker like myself, and these are from the British Superbike Championship. I like getting candids there, because there's some full-on characters. And also, let's not forget there's the grid girls. And why wouldn't you ask for a photo with them? That's one I took. And then I give the camera to my mate and let him take one of me. Wonder why the hell I'm grinning. It'd have to be the dark-haired chick for me. Spearmint rhino chick, way happy days. And also I do a little bit of urbex photography. I enjoy the genre. This one's a clock on a asbestos factory, that's the interior. I often wonder why I struggle breathing. But yeah, this is a local asbestos factory. Went in there because the graffiti were outstanding and the colours. Like to art. Excuse me. It's just artwork like this. Outstanding stuff. And Weetabix man. Not Weetabix, sorry, SpongeBob SquarePants. We used to have Weetabix men that was similar. And that's the interior. I had been in there as a Times warden when it was still open. They run for many years with just 3 staff, which was unbelievable, and they were paid basically for sitting around drinking tea because there were virtually no work. And this is still part of the old asbestos factory. They once had a fleet of cars. I think they couldn't sell them on because of the asbestos, and they had about 12 Vauxhall Viva estates and 12 Morris Minor Travellers tucked in a compound round the back. And this is the Royal Blackburn Hospital. That was a ward before. This one's the entrance as you go out. It has the name above the crest there, above the entrance. And this is some more of the interior. I had a mooch around. I'd like to have done a bit more, but my mate's not as adventurous as me, who were with me, and he stayed outside. This one is an old quaint mill near me. It's called Rosebank Mill, and it's well worth an explore. That's a bit of an HDR shot I did. I treated a few to HDR treatment. And again, the graffiti's amazing in places like this. That's why I love abandoned buildings. You never know what superb graffiti you're gonna get for photography. Their artworks in themselves, really. It's a pity they torn down eventually through demolition. And there's another one. The light were coming in the door and from above. And there's a bit of a reflection going on as well, so it was well worth setting up for a photograph. Very colourful as well. And this part, it demonstrates there's no roof on, the roof collapsed long ago. And you can see a bit heading down towards downstairs. All in all, it's an interesting, it's only a smallish mill, but it's interesting because it's dilapidated and falling down. And you had to mind your step, watch where you were walking, because part of the floor had collapsed. I still walked on it till the end, just watched where I was walking, and followed beams, making sure there were beams underneath me. But very interesting place. Not a single window left in. And there's the lower floor. And because the river was at the side of it, it was subject to a lot of flooding. And you can see all the flood water and mud on the floor that had come in through the non-existent windows. So it made walking a bit precarious. And the ride up to the place, there was even graffiti up there, so I photographed my old Kawasaki alongside some graffiti. And this is the bike that nearly bloody killed me, being honest. Severe injuries, which I've got photographs of. Show you after. It was a close call. I woke up with my head in a puddle, spitting gravel out, thinking they were my teeth. So it weren't one of my best mornings, I have to confess. And here we go on to any second now. The injury sustained. That's basically what you call a bruised leg. There's actually I didn't know at that time, there's actually a hole into my leg. And it had sealed, the inside of the leg had sealed to the outside of my leg without scar. Which burst later, and I flooded the floor with fluids and blood and crap like that. Not a really pleasant thing, because it was like a balloon with all the fluids behind it. And you can see my hand strapped up, because I'd smashed my hand, that had to be pinned back together. And the lighter area you're looking at here, it isn't bruised, basically because of the simple fact the skin's no longer attached to the underneath. It had degloved, so all the area that's pale there was no longer attached to the leg beneath. So once the fluids went, I could see down into my leg. So I got an infection in it and spent 2 weeks in hospital on IV drips, and pretty close to losing it really. So every time I grumble about it being sore, now I have to remember, well, you might not have had it, kid. Anyway, moving on next. The photo with the girl before, Lauren Richardson. This is her in her aircraft, a pit special. we're moving on to the aircraft photography. And she put on an interesting show, to be honest. Good pilot, and she has her own channel on YouTube. If you go to look her up, look up Lauren Richardson. She's a very good pilot, and the videos are good quality. I also get to photograph helicopters close up. This one was taken on a 50mm lens, and even that, well, 18 to 50, and I took it somewhere in between the focal lengths, so I pretty much felt the individual downbeats from the rotor blades of her nearly knocking me over, so I was pretty close. It's an AS355 twin squirrel, which means it has twin engines, and they use these for jobs where if you have an engine failure you can get out of the area, so it's used for overtime, cities, jobs like electric line inspection where you can't afford to have an engine failure on one with just one engine. Anyway, this is my local aerodrome when it had a set of historic aircraft in. One's a Moran Sonia, the silver one's a Dragon Rapide, and then I think the one at the end, it's a D'Havilland, I forget what it is, but it's a D'Havilland. So nice selection of vintage aircraft. And here it was too tempting to not get a period shot of the Dragon Rapide against the old 1920s buildings. It was, you couldn't have walked away and not taken that photograph and then adjusted it in Photoshop. Chances like that don't come along every day. And here's the bugbear in my aviation photography, trying to get a good picture of the red arrows head-to-head passes. I've got a few, but I've never particularly got one I'm happy with. I'm happy-ish, I could work on it for an artwork, but it's not quite how I'd want for photography, if you know what I mean. And here's another one I got, still not quite what I'm after. They're okay, they're passable, but I prefer a little bit more quality to them. But you're dealing with high speeds, and not only the high speed of the aircraft, but catching the right moment when the other aircraft comes towards it, so it's by no means an easy shot. This one was the last year of the Vulcan, and it's been flanked by the red arrows. It's one of my personal favourites up to now, my red arrows shots. I've got quite a few, well, I say I've got quite a few, most of them are on Facebook. I've lost a lot with hard drive and computer breakdowns, and this one's a MiG, I think it's a 17. I may stand to be corrected by someone. I could look it up, but I'm not bothering at the moment. But it's a nice air show performer. Every now and again you get it in an air show, and it's lovely watching it. Something unusual on the books when it performs, and they've come under many names, but at the moment they're called the Breitling Wing Walkers, sponsored by the Aviation Watch Company, and they're a good team really to watch. The girls are superb, very pretty, And here, I forgot what that one is, to be honest. Might be a Sea Fury. But it's a nice contrasty photo against a darky grey and white sky. It sort of works colours wise and contrast wise. And this one is the retirement scheme Jaguar. These were all photographed at Cosford at the moment. And that one's an F-18 Hornet from the Swiss Air Force. I've not been impressed for years at an air show by performance, but what that F-18 did was fantastic. Got it coming in for a run there, screaming off vapour trails and vapour over the wings. And here we have an old World War II, Battle of Britain Hurricane. Looks still an impressive aircraft. And a singular red arrows. Just plodding along. And here I'm not so sure, I think it's a Stearman biplane. Quite a nice thing. And this one now, I do night time, light painting. It's a genre I love, because you're never quite sure what you'll get. You can have a lot of input into it with your lights and that, but you never fully realise what you'll get. This one was on Filey Beach up in North East Yorkshire way, and it was actually pitch black there when I was taking photo. And here I also photograph trains. This one's the Flying Scotsman. And for all you watchers in the UK, if you watch the Lloyds Bank advert with a horse running alongside the train, that was filmed on this preserved railway and very close to where I live. And next we go up for some bikey shots, and this is at a custom bike show near where I live, and that one was outstanding. It was a Buell motorcycle, and he'd done the theme as Rosie the Riveter. It was fantastic. And this one is a motorcycle that's made locally. It's a Ccm Spitfire. CCM stands for Clues Competition Machines, and I've had factory invites off the test riders. And that one for PJ is my local team, Bellevue Aces. And here now, some from British Superbike Championships. This one was my second visit. This is on a drier day. The next lot that come up will be on the wet. I went on a wet pouring down day, and the photos are good because they've got all the water streaming from them. But the dry day has its benefits as well. But you've got to be a bit sharpish because they pass at an hell of a speed. This is the start of the wet weather ones. And there, that was first car I went on. And this is the next straight. Got some beautiful water vapours off the back of them. And that's the Royal Air Force and Reserves rider. And good looking bike. And there we are, I've got a picture of that one. That's the other side of the bike. It's in the dry lot before, and here we come on to cars. This one's a Ford Escort Mark 1, they're worth a fortune now in the UK. Rusty shells are a grand upwards. And here we have one of the last MGs really. A rally car. Looking very decent. We're going on to the inside in the galleries now. That one's a 1966 Mini. You can tell it's an early batch by the door hinges on the outside. And we move on to a GT40. Me and my friend on motorcycles chased one of these one night. Quick little beastie. And that's an Opel GT, very pretty car. Very good looking. And here's a Corvette, my favourite Corvette. Official pace car one. That was beautiful, and a Mustang. The Corvette and Mustang, those two are my two ultimate favourite ones. Or a 67 Pontiac GTO. But here's a picture for a bit of nostalgia. This was my first car. An old GM. Vauxhall were part of GM, so it's a General Motors vehicle. But I'd still like one now. I used to love my Viva. I just think it's a beautiful design. Very basic, but very nice design all the same. Anyway, thank you for watching if you've subscribed. Thank you very much if you haven't. Please do so. I get miles many more watching than subscribing. Thank you and bye.